Opening scene. The intro music plays and the screen fades in with bold text. Karoline Leavitt versus Whoopi Goldberg. The showdown continues. The voiceover begins with an engaging tone. Folks, get ready for another fiery exchange that left the View audience absolutely stunned. Karoline Leavitt, the young conservative firebrand, just went toe-to-toe with Whoopi Goldberg again, and let's just say, it did not go well for Whoopi. Now, if you thought their last clash was intense, just wait until you hear what happened. This time, Whoopi tried to corner Karoline, but instead, she ended up exposing her own hypocrisy in front of millions. It all started when Karoline was invited back on The View, likely as an attempt by the liberal hosts to challenge her stance on the upcoming election. But Whoopi had no idea she was walking straight into a debate she couldn't win. As soon as Karoline sat down, she was met with that trademark Whoopi smirk, the kind that says, "I already know I'm right." But Karoline? She was unbothered. Calm, collected, and ready. Whoopi wasted no time and kicked things off with a passive-aggressive jab. "So, Karoline," she said, crossing her arms, "you're back. I guess you enjoy coming here just to argue with us?" The audience chuckled, expecting Karoline to get defensive. Instead, she smiled. "Well, Whoopi," Karoline said smoothly, "I actually enjoy discussing ideas. It's what America is all about, freedom of thought. But I've noticed that every time I come here, it seems like you all just want to shout me down instead of having an actual conversation." Boom. The crowd oohed at that one. Even Whoopi seemed momentarily caught off guard. But she quickly recovered and tried a new angle. "All right," she said, leaning forward. "Let's talk about the election. You keep supporting Donald Trump, even after everything that's happened. Why? How can you possibly defend him?" Karoline didn't even flinch. "Well, Whoopi," she began, "I could ask you the same thing about Joe Biden. But let's be honest, this isn't about Trump's character. It's about policies. Under Biden, inflation has skyrocketed, our borders are out of control, and everyday Americans are struggling more than ever. But instead of addressing those real issues, you want to focus on Trump's personality?" The audience was silent. Whoopi blinked. It was clear she wasn't expecting a response that direct. Joy Behar, never one to sit quietly, jumped in. Wait, she interrupted, waving her hands. "Are you saying that Trump's actions don't matter?" Karoline turned to Joy with a polite smile. "Of course they matter, but so do Biden's actions. Let's compare. Trump lowered taxes, secured the border, and boosted the economy. Biden? Well, I think we all know how that's going." Before Joy could respond, Whoopi jumped back in. "Okay, but let's talk about democracy, Karoline," she said, her voice dripping with sarcasm. "You conservatives love to talk about freedom, but Trump literally tried to overturn an election. How do you justify that?" Now this is where Karoline really turned the tables. "Oh, Whoopi," she said, shaking her head, "I love how you selectively care about election integrity. When Democrats questioned the 2016 results, when they said Trump was an illegitimate president and spent years pushing the Russia hoax, did you call that an attack on democracy? Or does election denial only count when it comes from Republicans?" Boom. The audience gasped. Whoopi tried to respond, but Karoline wasn't done. "You supported Hillary Clinton when she claimed 2016 was stolen. You cheered Stacey Abrams when she refused to concede in Georgia. But now, when conservatives raise concerns, suddenly it's a threat to democracy? That's not democracy, Whoopi. That's hypocrisy." Whoopi's mouth opened, then shut. She glanced at Joy, who also seemed lost for words. The audience knew they had just witnessed something incredible. Sunny Hostin, desperate to regain control, leaned in. "Karoline, I think what Whoopi is trying to say is that Trump's rhetoric led to an insurrection." Karoline let out a small laugh. "An insurrection? Please. If that was an insurrection, it was the worst one in history. No weapons, no military. Coup? Just people protesting, something the left suddenly hates when it's done by the right." The audience actually laughed. Even Whoopi seemed to sense she was losing control of the conversation. Joy Behar, clearly flustered, waved her saying, "Arms, what you're deflecting," she snapped. What about all the court cases against Trump? Are you saying they're all just fake? Karoline turned to Joy with that same calm expression. I'm saying we should question the timing. Why is it that, after years of Trump being a public figure, all these legal battles suddenly pile up right before an election? The same Democrats who once called our justice system racist and broken now suddenly trust it when it goes after their political opponent? Whoopi, clearly frustrated, leaned back in her chair. So you're just going to sit here and defend everything Trump does? Karoline shook her head. No, Whoopi. But I'm also not going to sit here and pretend Joe Biden is some kind of savior while Americans are struggling under his leadership. You and your co-host can talk about feelings all day, but people out there are dealing with facts. Gas prices, grocery bills, crime. It's all worse under Biden. But sure, let's keep pretending Trump is the biggest problem in America. Silence. Whoopi exhaled sharply. She looked around as if hoping someone else would jump in. But there was nothing left to say. The audience? Stunned. Some even clapped. Whoopi finally muttered, "We need to go to a commercial break." And just like that, the view had been turned upside down again, all thanks to Karoline Leavitt. Closing scene. The screen fades to black as the narrator speaks. Once again, folks, we see the power of logic over emotion. Whoopi and her co-hosts tried to trap Karoline, but all they did was expose their own contradictions. Will they ever learn? Probably not. But one thing's for sure. Karoline Leavitt isn't afraid to speak the truth, and that's why they keep inviting her back. Let us know what you think in the comments. Do you agree with Karoline, or do you think Whoopi had a point? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update from Mystic Memoirs. Outro. Music plays as the screen fades out. As the screen fades back in, the camera zooms in on Whoopi Goldberg, still shifting in her seat, visibly frustrated. Karoline Leavitt remains poised, her expression unreadable but confident. The audience murmurs, sensing the tension. Whoopi leans forward again, determined to regain control of the conversation. Okay, Karoline, she says, forcing a tight-lipped smile. You love to talk about policies, right? Then tell me this, what exactly is Donald Trump going to do differently if he gets back into office? Karoline doesn't hesitate. Well, Whoopi, for starters, he's going to reverse the reckless spending that has driven inflation through the roof. He'll bring back energy independence, just like he did before, so Americans aren't paying outrageous prices at the pump. He's going to secure the border instead of allowing millions of illegal migrants to flood into the country. And Whoopi interrupts, waving her hand. Hold on. But Karoline keeps going, raising her voice slightly. And he's going to put America first instead of bending over backwards for global elites and foreign interests. The audience claps. Whoopi's jaw tightens, but before she can respond, Sunny Hostin jumps in, shaking her head. That sounds great and all, she says, her tone dripping with skepticism. But you're ignoring the real issue. Trump divides people. He encourages hate. Karoline raises an eyebrow. Hate? You mean like when Hillary Clinton called Trump supporters deplorables? Or when Joe Biden labeled half the country extremists? Hate isn't coming from one side. Sunny, it's coming from the very people who claim to be against it. The audience murmurs again, a few more scattered claps breaking out. Joy Behar throws up her hands, exasperated. Okay, fine, but let's talk about women, she snaps. Trump is anti-woman. He wants to take away our rights, and yet, you, a young woman, are sitting here defending him? Karoline tilts her head slightly, her expression almost amused. Oh, Joy, she says, shaking her head. You keep saying Trump is anti-woman, yet under his presidency, women saw historic economic growth, the lowest unemployment rate in decades, and millions of women-owned businesses thriving. But sure, let's pretend he's some sort of villain because he doesn't subscribe to your radical feminist ideology. The audience reaction is mixed, some clapping, others shifting uncomfortably. Joy Behar, realizing she's losing ground, turns to Whoopi for backup. Whoopi inhales sharply. Karoline, you're young. I get it. You think you know everything. But let me tell you something. Karoline cuts in, her voice steady. With all due respect, Whoopi, I don't think I know everything. I just refuse to accept hypocrisy as truth. And what I do know is that the American people, especially young people, are waking up to the fact that the so-called progressive policies you defend aren't actually helping anyone. Whoopi stiffens. And what exactly do you think? Young people want, Karoline? Karoline leans forward, eyes locked onto Whoopi's. They want opportunity, not handouts. They want freedom, not government overreach. They want leadership, not empty promises. And most of all, they're tired of being told what to think by the same elites who live in gated mansions while telling the rest of us how to live. The audience erupts into a mix of cheers and gasps. Even some of The View's die-hard liberal fans can't deny that Karoline just delivered a knockout blow. Whoopi sighs heavily, rubbing her temple. Commercial break, she mutters. The screen fades to black, but the damage is done. As the show cuts to ads, the live audience buzzes with chatter. Social media explodes. Karoline Leavitt destroys Whoopi trends within minutes. And just like that, Whoopi Goldberg and her co-hosts are left scrambling for damage control, while Karoline Leavitt walks away, once again, completely undefeated. Closing. Narration begins as the outro music plays. Once again, logic and facts have taken center stage, and the liberal media has been left speechless. Whoopi and her co-hosts may keep trying to take down Karoline Leavitt, but every time they do, they only expose their own contradictions. The question is, will they ever learn? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Was Karoline right? Did Whoopi even stand a chance? And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update from Mystic Memoirs. The screen fades back in with a dramatic replay of Karoline Leavitt's final words. The text. They're tired of being told what to think by the same elites who live in gated mansions while telling the rest of us how to live. Flashes across the screen in bold letters as the audience reaction is played again. Some gasps, some applause, but above all, complete shock. The voiceover resumes, this time with an even more intense tone. Narrator. Ladies and gentlemen, what you just witnessed was more than a debate. It was a complete dismantling of The View's liberal agenda in real time. But guess what? The drama didn't stop when the cameras cut to commercial. The screen shifts to backstage footage and insider reports from social media. That's right. Multiple sources claim that the moment the cameras went off, Whoopi Goldberg stormed off the set, slamming her cue cards on the table as producers scrambled to regain control. One insider even reported that Joy Behar was furious, accusing the show's producers of giving Karoline Leavitt too much time to speak. A mock-up text message appears on screen. Who let her keep talking? She made us look ridiculous. But here's the thing. Karoline didn't make them look ridiculous. They did that to themselves. Whoopi Goldberg, Joy Behar, and the rest of the View hosts have spent years pushing the same tired narratives, expecting their guests to just nod along in agreement. But this time, they invited the wrong person. Karoline wasn't there to be lectured. She was there to expose their hypocrisy, and she did exactly that. The screen flashes to social media reactions. Tweets and posts flood in with captions like, Karoline just torched The View and walked away unscathed, and Whoopi had no comeback. This was brutal. And let's talk about that audience reaction, folks. Usually when conservatives appear on The View, the crowd is stacked with die-hard liberal fans ready to boo and jeer at anything remotely right-wing, but this time, something was different. Yes, there were gasps. Yes, there were shocked faces. But did you notice? There was clapping. And not just from a few scattered people. There were genuine cheers. Could it be that even The View's own audience is starting to wake up? The screen cuts back to Whoopi, shaking her head in disbelief as the commercial break is announced. That's the sound of a crumbling narrative, folks. And Karoline Leavitt? She knew it. When the cameras finally stopped rolling, reports say she walked off that stage with her head held high, a confident smile on her face. Because here's the reality. No matter how hard Whoopi and her co-hosts try to silence conservative voices, the truth will always win. And Karoline Leavitt? She's just getting started. The screen cuts to Karoline later that day, posting a simple yet powerful message on social media. A screenshot of Karoline's tweet appears. When facts are on your side, the shouting doesn't matter. Thanks for having me, Whoopi. Happy to come back anytime. Boom. Mic dropped. Closing music begins as the outro narration kicks in. Narrator. The question now is, how long before The View bans Karoline Leavitt for good? Will they ever recover from this embarrassing defeat? Or will they double down on their hypocrisy? One thing's for sure. This wasn't just a debate. This was a wake-up call. And something tells us Karoline Leavitt isn't done yet. Drop. Your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Whoopi Goldberg will dare to invite Karoline back? Or is this the last time we'll ever see a real conservative challenge The View? And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update from Mystic Memoirs. The screen fades out with a final shot of Whoopi Goldberg's stunned expression, frozen in time as the Mystic Memoirs logo appears. The screen fades back in with a slow-motion replay of Karoline Leavitt confidently walking off The View set. The dramatic music builds as the camera zooms in on Whoopi Goldberg, still stunned with Joy Behar shaking her head in disbelief. Narrator. With a confident tone. But wait, folks, this story isn't over yet. Because after Karoline Leavitt walked off that stage, something even crazier happened. The meltdown wasn't just on set, it spread everywhere. The screen transitions to clips of left-wing media pundits reacting angrily, shaking their heads and talking over each other. MSNBC, CNN, social media. Liberal commentators lost their minds. A video clip plays from an MSNBC panel featuring an outraged political analyst. MSNBC host, furious. This is exactly why young conservatives like Karoline Leavitt are dangerous. They're smooth. They're confident, and they make Whoopi and Joy look unprepared. I mean, why did The View even invite her back? Another clip plays of a CNN anchor sighing in frustration. CNN anchor, exasperated. She completely dominated that conversation. And the worst part? The audience actually clapped for her. That's a bad sign for Democrats in 2024. Boom. Narrator, laughing slightly. Oh, now they're worried? Now they realize that America isn't just eating up the left-wing media's narrative anymore? The panic is real, folks. The screen transitions to conservative media reactions, featuring a Fox News panel and major conservative influencers. Fox News, Newsmax, Daily Wire. They were all talking about it. A clip plays of a Fox News host, grinning. Fox host, smirking. Did Whoopi really think she was going to outdebate Karoline Leavitt? This wasn't even close. The View just handed her another viral moment on a silver platter. The screen shifts to a Daily Wire segment with a commentator shaking his head, laughing. Daily Wire host, laughing. Folks, this is what happens when liberal media lives in an echo chamber. They invite someone like Karoline on thinking they can expose her, and instead, boom, she flips the whole conversation upside down. Cut to a viral tweet from a popular conservative commentator. Tweet on screen. Whoopi Goldberg wanted a debate. What she got was a masterclass from Karoline Leavitt. The View won't recover from this one. The screen then transitions to liberal Twitter reactions, angry, confused, panicking. Some were in denial. Screenshot of a tweet from a liberal commentator. Tweet. Ugh, Karoline Leavitt is just another smooth-talking fascist. People cheering for her don't realize how dangerous she is. Others were embarrassed. Screenshot of a tweet from an angry viewer. Tweet. I watch The View every day, but I can't believe Whoopi let that girl walk all over her like that. This was painful to watch. And then, there were the excuses. Screenshot of a leftist journalist's post. Tweet. The producers set Whoopi